Whew, what a morning already. Good morning, Anita Dawn from Anita Dawn Wellbeing and Cell Pilates. All right, I did start earlier, but I realized that I was muted. Oh, what a day. I ran out of petrol on the motorway this morning. I went for a swim. That's the topic of the session today, swimming. But on the way back, I was on my motorbike on the motorway and I ran out of petrol. And it was kind of, people stopped and eventually a friend of mine came along with a litre of petrol. So it's been one of those mornings. I think I need to go back to bed for a while. Anyway, so this week, June is all about beginners. And at the moment, I'm focusing on Pilates, beginners Pilates, and we're doing some beginners exercises this week. I'm just showing them to you. I'm not really teaching them to you. I will be doing that in the course next week. There's a 7-day course, Pilates beginners exercises. Yeah, and that's a great way to get yourself confident, to learn the essentials, the basic principles in Pilates. And then when you go into a beginner's class, you're going to get so much more benefit from the class knowing those basic skills. Yeah, so today I've chosen swimming. And this is working the core. We need to engage the core, and it's going to work all the muscles down the back, the back down through the glutes and the back of the legs. So it's really great, although it is about core strengthening, and the movement of the rest of the body is just challenging the body to stay still, to keep the pelvis and the spine still, and thereby we're strengthening the core. All right. So the only bit of equipment I'd recommend is a 1-inch block. These are really useful little blocks to go under the head. If you have that forward head posture, it goes under the head when you're lying on your back. And here, lying on your front, if you pop it under the forehead, it brings your spine into a beautiful neutral alignment. All right, so I'm going to start with the absolute basic, the preparations for the swimming, and then I'm going to build up the complexity a little bit, but it's still an essential beginner exercise. Yeah. Now, if you have an anterior tilt where your pelvis tilts forward slightly and you're prone to getting a bit of backache, then there are other modifications that I would recommend that you do, but this is not the place to go into that, and I will be giving modifications in the course next week. All right, so all I can say now today is that give it a go, but if you feel that you're going into your lower back, yes, then don't do it. Stop. Yeah. And sign up for the course next week, and for the 7-day course where all the basic exercises, then at the end on the Saturday, we're going to do a masterclass and put them all together and have a little masterclass, basically 30-minute class. Yeah. So we're going to start off with the lower body, then we'll do the arms, and then we'll put them together. Yeah. So technique is really very, very important. And just to emphasize that Pilates is about slow, controlled movement. Yes, so if we move too fast, the core muscles don't tend to switch on or stay switched on, and the superficial muscles will kick in and work harder, and therefore you're not really getting the benefit of what Pilates is all about. Yeah. And also light overload. So some people think, oh, I don't feel it, I want to use some weights in my hand or leg weights, but it's about light resistance. We're working the core. We're not having a full-blown strength workout here. That would be something that you do separately. But if you start off with Pilates, you'll be in a really good place and less prone to injury going forward. Yeah, so we're going to come down. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me with the mic onto the tummies here. And we're going to have the legs parallel. They don't have to be touching. And just see, I'll probably lift my head so that you can hear better. But hopefully you can see that my head and neck is in a pretty good alignment there. So if I didn't have that block, I'd either come out of neutral, I can't breathe, or I'm hanging there and overworking the back of my neck. Alrighty. So I'm going to start off with the arms just relaxed, any position you want them to. The first thing we need to think about doing is engaging the core. So we're going to draw the belly button away from the floor in towards the spine. Just feel that light connection. And perhaps you felt that your glutes also switched on. If they didn't, just squeeze your sit bones a little bit. So we want to stabilize the pelvis and the lumbar spine and the rest of the spine in this exercise. And we do it by those two engagements, the abs, the abdominals, well, the core, all the core exercises and the glutes. So here I'm going to think about, first of all, extending my right leg, stretching it out and then releasing. And then the left one, stretching it out and releasing. So I'm doing that on the exhale. And then making sure that you feel that connection in your core muscles. Maybe you can float the leg up off the floor ever so slightly, but it is called a leg extension rather than a leg lift. The main focus here is lifting from the glutes and without tilting the pelvis. So if we lift the leg too high, I'm hinging in my lower back, bad for the lower back, and I've bypassed the benefit of the exercise. So we're exhaling as we float the leg off the floor. So my thighs are not coming off the floor. Yeah, otherwise I'm going to move the pelvis. All right, so that's the legs, and really great for strengthening through the glutes and the hamstrings. So if we look at the arms, let's give the legs a rest. So ideally we want the arms stretched on the floor parallel to each other and about shoulder width apart. If that's really uncomfortable for you, then we will modify, although I'm not really into modifications today. But your goal is to have them parallel rather than in a capital E, but this is better than not doing it at all. All right, so I need to engage my core, belly button to spine, and squeeze my sit bones slightly. And I'm going to go light on my right arm and release, and light on my left arm. And then see if we can just float the arm just a couple of millimeters off the floor. And a little tip here, you could lift your head slightly. And so we don't want to come up into extension. Keep the abdominals lifted in towards the spine. Squeezing those sit bones lightly. And I'm working in the back of the shoulders and into the back muscles, upper and middle back muscles, and the lower back muscles by stabilizing. Yeah, beautiful exercise. And quite often we'd do more of those and we would then have a rest, but I'm going to go straight on and then show that we can do opposite arm to leg. So I'm going to do right arm, left leg. But first of all, we want to engage the abdominals and the glutes, belly button to spine, squeeze your sit bones, lengthen your arms ahead if that's appropriate for you, and inhale, exhale. So I'm going to lift my head a little bit. I don't want to lift it up here. Yeah, we don't want to go into extension. We want to stay in that neutral alignment so that we strengthen our core muscles, particularly your deep core muscle, transverse abdominis. Yeah, it's a muscle that works with isometric contraction, no movement. Yeah, so here we're working everything. You've got those legs straight, and then we'll do last one. And then gently release. Have a little rest there. So the back muscles do work a little bit, and perhaps they've worked a little bit more than they should have done. So we come up out of that onto the elbows. Now watch this. I lift my hips and I walk myself back into a shell stretch where I am stretching out through the lower back. Yeah. So that is swimming, and really great at strengthening all those muscles which tend to be weak. Great postural muscles to help bring you upright there into a better alignment and help to avoid back pain as well. So I hope you enjoyed that, and don't forget, I haven't put the links out yet, but today I will put the links out in the comments there below of how to sign up or to get more information about the course next week. Yeah. Okay. So if you did that with me, I hope you enjoyed it, felt the benefit, maybe just loosen out a little bit. And when we do a Pilates class, we do stretch. We stretch the muscles we worked at the end of the class, and we always do a little bit of a warm up. But these are just little, just one exercise at a time, and we'd be here all day it would take a lot longer if we did that. So we're not working too hard, hopefully, doing these exercises. It's just an introduction. So thank you for joining me. And apologies if I was a little bit late with this. If you're waiting 9:30, Anita's on live, but hopefully tomorrow I will be with another exercise, another Pilates beginners exercise to introduce you to that and to show you what a great exercise program Pilates is. All right, so thanks for joining me today. If you've got any comments, pop them in the comments box. I always love to have comments. Got any questions too, pop them in the comments box. All right, guys, you have a good day and thanks for joining me.